Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, support and love to break on through to a fuller, brighter, sparklier you, helping ourselves make that move we know we want to make. Plus, some inspiration, try something new. And we'll have a letter from #FaithNotFear. All this and more. Come grab a cup of yum yum and meet me here. Well, hello there, gorgeous friend. It is me, Robin, your heart sparkling, super awesome pal on the journey. Hello. It is me, Robin. Before we begin, I wanted to let you know that every day at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time, I am hosting an Instagram Live, over on Instagram, Morning Magic with Robin, and we come together to remember who we truly are, to practice shining our light, to stay true to us, and to ride in these vibes that honestly, not everybody we're connected to gets, and that's what makes that time so special. So if you're feeling called, I hope you will come and check it out. It's a beautiful, supportive, wonderful group. I'm there every day, and the replays all go to YouTube, so if that's better for you, the time works out better for you, you can check them out there. On with the show, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast, Tea with Robin, episode 90. And if it's your first time here, welcome. So glad you could join us. Welcome to our love posse. It's good to be back with you, friend. How is the weather in your heart today? Always my prayer is that you continue to love yourself and evolve in the ways that matter to you. Choosing your kindness and self-care as a practice, and remembering what you said you wanted to do from one day to the next. I hope that you are being so very kind and gentle with yourself. Yes, I do. Over here, it is a gorgeous day. Recording this on May 20th, 2020. And it's beautiful out. The weather is just perfect. It's about 60 degrees. Breezy, slightly sunny, but not too much. And I know nobody would want to have to pick the same weather every single day for the rest of their lives. But if I had that button right now, I would press it. I would press it right now for today, forever. I would. This is my weather right here. I don't know. It's just so, the colors are luscious and magnificent, and the breeze is just right. It's not too hot yet, just lovely. I'm watching all the birds and the lilac hedges in the neighbors' yards swaying in the breezes, and I'm on a lucky break right now because the neighbor's house has been torn down about a couple months ago, but today the big digger showed up. And they are churning up the backyard. There are mile-high piles of dirt all along the backyard. And I tell you what, my inner 5-year-old so wants to jump the fence and go get in that mess. It looks amazing. It looks like the most amazing piles of things to play in. Whether it's Barbies or dump trucks, I say anything goes today. So catching this lucky break where the digger is quiet, and I'm doing really well. It's been a very sweet week. Really, really sweet. I've connected with some friends in sessions that I haven't talked to in many years. We're coming back together to do some very deep work. And then also been connecting with some friends I haven't talked to, some former classmates I haven't talked to. It's been a very interesting week. So just feeling that energy, lots of reconnecting. It's really cool. We're expanding, we're evolving, and things are transforming. that's a bit of what I want to talk about with you today, too. So stick around for that. But first, you know what comes next, don't ya? Do you have a cup of yum yum? Do ya? I hope you have something delicious with you today as you're listening along. Me, I'm looking at my desk. Okay, in my defense, I am midday, mid-sessions. I just had my lunch break. I have 5 different mugs on my desk right now. 5 different mugs, so it just depends on how I want to answer this question. But the freshest one I just made is my good old trusty Trader Joe's Irish breakfast tea. And you know what? I told you this a few weeks ago. I had 70 bags left. I have 3 today. 3. And you should say it like that. 3. I am down to the last 3. It's going to be all right. That's what I've got. Stevia. I put a little almond milk in there today. It's very nice. And, of course, sea salt. So I am raising my glass to you. And may I just say, you are lovely. You are smart. You are powerful. And I love your heart. There. Cheers. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You know, I gotta say, I kind of like my little messes in the day. I think it's fun to enjoy how it is for you. And just let yourself have it how you like it. I don't know if you heard last week's episode, Let It Be Good. You know, just enjoy it how you like it without being so hard on yourself all the time. I mean, seriously, so what if you have a few coffee mugs going around the house, or there's some clothes on the floor today, or whatever it is that you can be hard on yourself about. I know I have a few projects in the garden I started digging up, and I have not finished those yet. And they're in the front yard where everybody can see it. But, you know, let's be easy. Let's appreciate who we are. Let's appreciate this journey. Appreciate the day. What do you say? Wouldn't you rather play? Oh, these days crack me up when I am in a playful mood and I come here to record, and I know what's going to happen when I'm editing back. I'm going to practice not deleting my goofiness out. Okay? So let's see if I do that. So I've got a few notes here for what I want to talk about today. And I was mentioning to you a few weeks ago that I really set an intention to honor the work I want to do in the week and have it done before the weekend is over. And I am so proud of myself because I've been consistently doing that, done by Friday afternoon with everything. And it is such a wonderful feeling. I wanted to mention that because I know we both have things we really, really want. And there's a way that we can keep saying it, but not doing it. You know, sometimes maybe what we need to do is stop saying it and just do it. Stop talking about it and just do it. You know, this is that time to dig a little deeper into what would really make you happy. So, yeah, I'm really excited about finishing the podcast episodes before the weekend. It's been really sweet. I've been allowing myself more time to rest and enjoy the day. Take my walks and play in the garden and talk to my friends, and it's been really wonderful to feel a sense of ease and peace in my heart. So whoever needed to hear that just now, I hope that helps you. Yeah, so let's talk about this episode. I've been listening to a lot of the old music, so hello to Jim Morrison and the Doors, wherever you guys all are today. I hope it's wonderful, and thank you so much for this amazing music. I was listening to Break On Through to the Other Side. There's this line in the song, "We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there, but can you still recall the time we cried, break on through to the other side?" break on through to the other side. And for me, I mean, I know everybody's got their own reason for writing this, and I haven't looked into it, because for me, what it really is saying is we've all pledged our allegiance to certain kinds of treasures in our lives, and maybe they weren't ours. Treasures like, emotionally speaking, keeping the peace in our family, not rocking the boat, not making waves, not making too big of a splash on the scene, not upsetting people. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but every once in a while, I know for me, I would come up for air and say, I want to stop doing this. I want to stop doing this. There has got to be something more. Think about in your own life the examples for you where you realize in a moment, I have got to change this. I want to change this. This has got to shift. I want to break on through to the other side. When you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you're upset, when you're going through the deep end. I had a teacher in healing school who always would, everything was, when you're going through the belly of the beast, everything was the belly of the beast. But the thing is, it always feels that way no matter what the upset is, because all upsets are disturbing to your peace of mind, to the weather in your heart. It doesn't matter. The Course in Miracles says there's really no such thing as a big or a small upset. They're all equally disturbing. And I find that is true. So I suppose I'm saying my teacher may have been right. The belly of the beast. But we want to come out the other side. And when it's intense, when it's difficult, all sometimes we can do is chase our pleasures in terms of checking out, numbing out, zoning out, bugging out, in whatever way we can, just to kind of forget about it for a while. So today I wanted to talk about us breaking on through. Or maybe you want to look at it like allowing yourself to rise. I can say it that way too. Now is always the right time to make those moves if they're calling to you. I look at it like if you're here listening week after week, or if somebody told you to come and listen today, you're a light sparkler. You're a torch bearer. You're somebody who is seeing and feeling and thinking deeply. You're connecting dots that maybe the people in your family are not. For those of us like that, things that are a problem, a bother, an issue, there can be certain energies that can really fester for us that other friends, other people we know are not bothered by at all. So if you have found that this has been a time of great awakening for you, then it's a beautiful time to say, I'm going to break on through to the other side. It's a beautiful time to say, I am going to allow the shift to happen. I was writing to the Love Posse this week that since we've been in our lockdown of the coronavirus times and going through our things, I'm noticing such a shift in all of us. Anybody I talk to in sessions, friends I ride with, just, my friends, my girlfriends. I don't have any boyfriends right now. I've got you, number one husband. I'm noticing the shift in him too. Like we're all waking up in a deeper way. And maybe before there were big gaps where we just couldn't do it. There was a lot of resistance, maybe There was fear or guilt, and we just couldn't get there. But it does feel like now is that time. And if it's that time for you, what is your most sincerest wish for yourself? You could just take a moment right now and consider. Are you doing it? This is me giving you a moment to consider. What is it that you are wanting? Or if there's a great burden that you're ready to lay down, what is the burden you want to lay down? We can't really break on through if we're afraid to dive a little deeper into what's going on. It takes great presence, to do that. But I'm noticing right now, a lot of us have more time. Even if we're still working, even if the kids are home, you're homeschooling too, there's just a way that there's a different kind of presence now that's making this possible for us. So it's a great time to ask yourself, what is my greatest wish for myself today and every day going forward? What would I love? What do I want? I've been sharing a lot with our Love Posse, the morning lives that I'm hosting over on Instagram, that my wish is to be honest and true in my day, every day, to be honest and true. It's a really big wish, actually. For me, what I mean by honest and true is that I want to stop coddling people. I want to stop caretaking people. I want to stop colluding in stuff I don't agree with, stuff I don't want to do. Are there people in your life who keep telling the same story again and again? People who feel sorry for themselves, victim consciousness? If you're a light bearer, you can be like the flame that draws energies seeking the light. And it's not our job to fix people. It's not my job to fix people. But we can fall into these patterns, especially if you've had wounding in your childhood where you were hurt and made to feel like it was your job to make everything better for everybody else, to somehow be perfect and therefore the one who makes it all better. And it kind of, as a kid, it kind of did me in, but it also kept me okay. It kept things easier for me with my family if I did that, but it taught me that I didn't matter. It taught me that my needs didn't matter. It taught me not always to trust what I was getting, intuitively speaking. And so for me right now, to be practicing being honest and true to myself has been huge. And what I notice is that I'm not interested in confronting people or letting them know what they're doing that's bugging me, let's say. I've never been a fan of that. I don't think that the problem lies out there. I think it lies within me. I think it lies within you. And so we can work on things that way. I'm noticing that people are shifting around me. Issues are coming up that have always been issues that have never been addressed, and suddenly they're just coming up. They're being brought to light, just like the gold pan, sifting things out, and the gold is remaining. Those nuggets of gold there's so much gold hidden in the shadow stuff we keep protecting. The stuff we've been afraid to address, the stuff we've been afraid to deal with. I'm hearing stories in sessions that I keep saying to people, I bet all of us think we're the only one that struggles with this, except for me, I am hearing it in so many different ways that I can see how we're all rising together. We're all doing this work together. We're walking together. So whatever your thing is right now, if you've been feeling guilty, if you've been feeling like you don't want to listen to that person anymore, you don't want to hear them tell the story again, you don't want to accommodate the ego mind of the other person, it's too much of a challenge, let it go and see what happens. Don't invest your energy there, and see what comes back to you, because I'm seeing such a beautiful change happen. So if you think to your life pre-coronavirus times, you'll find that you were dealing with stuff that you thought was permanent, unchanging, and so frustrating. Maybe you had a lot of resentment. Maybe you had a lot of guilt. Maybe you had a lot of fear. You're realizing that there's a possibility that some of this can fall away for you. Some of this can clear and heal for you. So the message to you, my light worker friend, is don't just push to keep things normal. Don't just push to keep people happy. Don't just push yourself to keep on keeping on and hope for a better tomorrow. Today is the day to break on through to the other side. Today is the day to stop digging for treasures that are not your own, which do lead us to check out and seek pleasures that are not really satisfying in the long run. I will not swear off Netflix and popcorn and all those things, but you know what I'm talking about. When your nervous system takes enough of a hit, when you deny what you need and you deny yourself the essential stuff your soul keeps asking you for, your nervous system takes a hit. Your chakra system takes a hit. Your auric field takes the hit. And there is a way your nervous system must rebalance to accommodate the energy you have downgraded to. I did say downgrade. You downshifted to denying what you need, denying what your soul is asking for. And that's why a lot of us need to numb out. So what a powerful thing to realize. I'm going to honor some of my needs, and I'm going to learn how to handle what comes. And if I can't handle it on my own, I'm going to open my arms wide and ask Spirit to help me. Or I'm going to seek out my counselor, my therapist, my energy healer. I'm going to get support. I'm going to talk to a friend. I'm going to get support because I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm looking at the lyrics to that song, Break On Through to the Other Side, right now, and he writes the opener, the day destroys the night, night divides the day. It reminds me of the Bible verse in the book of John. The light shined in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. But that darkness, it doesn't go anywhere. The shadow energy, the dark energy, it stays right in here. And as a heaviness we can carry, can't we? So, and you can try and run, and you can try and hide from it, but it continues to be there. So until we choose to break on through to the other side, we're going to be here with this energy. And free will and all that, free will is such a beautiful thing. You have free will. And what that means is nobody can make you break on through. Nobody can make you break on through. Not even God. Because you have free will. Because you're so blessed. Because you're so loved. That is such a sacred thing. Your will is free. You will never be forced to change. But should you want to, should you be ready, if you want to clear these things that keep happening for you, if you're feeling willing, and you only need to be a sliver of willing, just a tiny itty bitty bit of willing, to lay down your burden, you will be met with assistance and support, and you will be met. You don't have to plan this out for yourself and strategize your 89-point plan of how you're going to do this thing. It just begins with being honest and saying, I'm ready to break through this. I keep doing this thing. I keep throwing myself under the bus. I keep pretending to be interested in listening to stuff I no longer want to hear. I no longer want to hear this. So I'm going to stop pretending. You know, it's like that. A lot of you tell me your family is giving you a hard time about stuff right now. You know, there's a lot of guilt you're dealing with. You know what's going on. It's tweaking things for you. Maybe your kids have had it with the homeschooling thing and they're tired of following the rules that other kids don't seem to be following. That's one I keep hearing about lately. You know, you don't always have to have a perfect solution, but what I would suggest is for whatever you're relating to today and what I'm saying, you know, I can only give so many examples. You find the ones that are real and true for you, real for you right now. You just have to sit in your heart and say, what's here now? This is my tangible tip for today. What is here now? What's bothering you, Bunky? What's bothering you, Bunky? You know when you feel that sinking feeling, when somebody starts talking to you and you feel the sinking feeling, you know something's going on. So take that beat and ask yourself, what's happening? What's happening? To assume your needs are expendable and the easiest thing is just to make it better for everybody else. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. You matter. You are worth fighting for. You are worth breaking on through for. And that's the truth. Even if you're scared, even if it seems impossible, you are worthy of doing this work. You can do this. You are strong and capable. And Course in Miracles talks about you are God in the body. You are the light of spirit in a body. You're backed by powerful energy, that means. And you can do this. This is that time. We can use this time to break on through to the other side. And if nobody has told you today, I feel you're doing an amazing job already. Staying courageous, staying awake. It's really a practice, isn't it? Don't forget to ask yourself what you want, what your needs are, what you're wishing for. Think about what I was saying about going with what feels true and honest for you. And this is such a great time of awakening. I really do feel this is the gift of the coronavirus in the world. I know there's so much going on the physical level. I'm speaking to us soul to soul, light worker to light worker, where we look to our journey and really remember who we truly are and what we're here to do, which is to be our truest selves and shine our brightest light. Shine our light, the brightest, by being ourselves. And so we're not ourselves if we continue to put up with things that we're not addressing. So whatever the issues are today, whatever's going on for you, don't be afraid to dig a little deeper and not just push for normal. Not just push for your normal. Keeping the norm going. We all have resistance to this, and it's okay. But, think about what you're going for, what you're wanting, what you're really choosing. And most of the time, I feel you would tell me, I want an easy, peaceful, gentle ride in the day. I want to be free to play and be creative and make a difference. No, I'm making a difference. No, I'm proud of myself every day. So this message is really for all of us wanting that. We want to be in alignment with those energetic felt senses, the felt sense of those things, don't we? So you can't always worry about how it's going to sound, what it's going to look like, what that person is going to say to you. I saw a meme the other day that really summed some things up for me. And it said, when that person came to clear the air and you're thinking, I can finally breathe easy because you're not in my space anymore. Consider everything I said today. Take what feels helpful and relevant for you and make a commitment to try some of the practice. One person, one area, one thing you can do. Sometimes the boldest move is to decide to just not respond to something anymore. To not respond. To not give an answer. To not write back. To not pick up the phone. Whoever it is that seems to have the most importance in the conversation, maybe you practice with them making it even. Who knows? I'm already looking forward to you practicing and shining. So again, you don't need to know the how of all of it. You only need to know you're willing to break on through. And you're open to break to the new way. You're open to something new. And you only have to be an itsy bitsy bit of the tiniest sliver of willingness. The Course in Miracles calls that the little willingness. The little willingness. And the support and assistance will begin to flow into you. Flow into your experience, flow into your day. It will. And more support and assistance is waiting for you in the wings all the time. And I keep reminding myself that so much of the time, what breaking on through to the other side really looks like is doing nothing instead of the something I keep doing in that one situation. So, when I feel guilty, when I feel worried, when I feel afraid, when I feel angry, when I feel whatever, I do something. And now I'm going to do nothing because I need to do nothing. I just have to be present with it. Breathe with it. So there you go. I hope this message feels helpful and supportive to you today. I really, really do. That there is a nugget or two in here that you can take and break on through to the other side. Not allow the night to divide the day anymore. Not to allow that darkness to be such a pattern interrupt that you cannot make your way free in the day. Cheers. Before I share today's inspiration, and we have a beautiful letter coming up, I wanted to ask you to consider supporting the podcast. Share this message on with a friend, I know a lot of us are dealing with stuff like this now. If you can think of somebody who is really needing this message today, if you've been talking to your friends and you guys are going through the similar stuff, please share this on. Help this light continue to shine. I am not surprised, but you know how it is. You're surprised by sometimes how difficult and challenging it can be to wake up when you're the one person in your circle who is doing that work, and there's pressure all around you to not be who you are, to not make these moves. Many of us live in a way that's free because we've been doing this work and breaking out of these bondage of these molds we have had ourselves in. But a lot of our friends are also really needing this message. So please share this on. If you can think of somebody, if you see me share it somewhere, give it a like or share it in your stories. You can certainly support the podcast with a financial contribution. I always appreciate that. Or consider leaving a review on Apple or Stitcher or Google Cast. I really, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So, inspiration today. In light of everything I've been talking about, breaking on through, making these shifts that we have always wanted to be making and it just wasn't the timing, or we didn't quite know how, or we weren't quite ready, or whatever it was. The gap was too big. Sometimes that's the way I put it. The resistance gap was just too big for me. I couldn't do it. Here we are. We want to do these things. I am finding it enormously helpful to be learning a few new things right now. Learning something new. So that's this week's inspiration. This week I am learning embroidery, or is it needlepoint? See, I don't even know. I bought a pattern. I'm going to put all of this stuff in the show notes. So if you just go to robinhallett.com/90, I'll put the links to what I'm doing and maybe some photos there as well. I am learning, I guess it's needlepoint, a sampler pattern. It's very fun. I'm taking a watercolor class from Melanie April Art. It is her elemental butterfly class. Very, very fun. Learning some new skills, learning some new things, helping myself learn and develop something new, something I've always wanted to try. And here's the interesting thing about that, because I know a lot of us feel like we don't have time, or it's frivolous, or, doing something like that. Who has the time? Blah, 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 right? But learning something new, for me anyway, what I am finding is it helps me keep my heart and my mind expecting new things, new skills, new ways of doing stuff, and you will find that it's a healer in a way that you're not as discombobulated by doing things differently. You're almost excited about it. Oh, what am I going to learn now, And there's a way that you feel excited and delighted about something new. And not only excited and delighted, but open. The resistance can be very big to making some of these changes that I was talking about, these emotional changes. So a practice that's helping you be open to learning is going to help you be open to making these, to breaking on through as well. So it's like there's some inner knowing that's like, hey, there's a new way that wants to emerge here. And it applies in other areas. It upwells in other areas of your life. It's gorgeous. So keep some little projects going just for you. If you've been wanting to learn how to grow something in the garden, did you hear my inspiration last week of planting a wishing tree or planting some sunflower seeds with some intentions for yourself, again, that would be a beautiful thing to do now. Some of you are learning how to cook. I'm learning how to make sourdough starter, and it is so much fun feeding the sourdough starter every day. I'm doing a gluten-free one. That's been really enjoyable. Again, I'll link all of my stuff up in the show notes for you. These little projects, they keep me feeling primed and excited, even for the next day. When I wake up, there's an excitement that greets me about the little butterflies I'm painting or the needlepoint. Mine is, and it's called the Disco Nap Sampler, which I love. The Disco Nap, going all the way back. I always loved the Disco Nap when I was going to the disco. Yes, remember when we had a disco to go to? I love that. So it's really, really fun. And like checking on my sourdough. Did it rise? Has it risen? Is it bubbling? Does it need to be fed? So much fun. So they keep me primed, like for the next day. When I wake up, I'm already feeling a certain kind of excitement. I'm looking forward to playing with the things and getting into it. So I wonder, if there are things you can try like that too. And I get it. If you can't devote time just to you because you've got the kiddos there, what can you do as a family project? I really encourage you to try. I can almost hear some of you going, yeah, we do that every day. We color a coloring page, or we take the hike and check on the bunnies or check on the baby goslings that just hatch. Pick something different, something new. Start a puzzle, whatever, you'll know. And see how this energy helps you. Let's make it an experiment. Okay? So this week's letter, we've got a beautiful one here. And friends, I would love to read a letter for you here to shine a little light and offer some support and offer some inspiration, or just expand on a topic you might be interested in. So if that's calling to you, please write to me at hello@robinhallett.com. No issue too small. There is no such thing as a silly issue or a stupid issue. Your issue, your question, your letter matters. It's important. I'm the only one who reads the mail over here, and I promise to take tender, loving care with your request. So, hello@robinhallett.com, or you can always use the links connected to the show notes. Here's this week's letter. This goes out to you, Shannon, and thank you as always for sending it in. Hi, Robin. Good morning. I've been writing in my morning pages and thinking about what faith feels like to me. I was raised in the church, but it made me feel badly rather than uplifted. The church told me what faith ought to be, but not what the experience of faith feels like. I have been exploring this in my pages, and I would love to know what it means from your perspective. I'm asking you today because I heard you speak about faith on the Morning Magic Live today. This is from April 12th, friends, and I will link this up. You said faith is in surrender, having faith that Spirit is always in the mix, that we can choose to roll away our stones in faith that our fear is not real. I would still love to hear more about your perspective on faith. What does it feel like for you? Like me, did you have to experience something to get your knowing from which faith followed, or did you come into the world just knowing? Faith is something I want to have, but I forget sometimes. Faith feels like a practice, like so many other things. I'm so grateful for you in this world. Thank you, Robin. So many of my insights and clarity around my experiences have come to me in the light of your teachings and healing downloads. I am so grateful for you in this world. And I am so grateful to you, Miss Shannon. You know, I appreciate your encouragement back to me to keep showing up and shining and sharing. This is a very juicy question, isn't it? I love the insights you've already expressed here. Isn't it interesting that being raised in the church, as so many of us were, you know, it's interesting how many of us experience what I call religious icky. There is a way that, you know, like any system, you're either in or you're out. There are rules, there's a structure to it, and religion itself isn't the problem. It's the interpretation and the rules and the enforcement and the belief in good and bad that gets us, well, can get us really screwed up about who we truly are and how magnificent we actually are. And we never needed to do anything to achieve that status because we were always loved to begin with. We were always a spark of the divine. Even those of you, one of my best friends growing up from childhood had a terrible accident and 2 people were killed because of it. And my friend had to go to prison for a time. And when she came home, it was a very difficult adjustment period. And I remember saying to her all the time, no matter what you think, love created you like itself. You are love and you are loved. And this thing that happened, it has no bearing on your light, your beloved status. You just are. You just are. You just are that. Love created me like itself. Course in Miracles. You just are. So that's the first piece around faith, is making... Faith involves a lot of trust. It's like taking a leap. A leap of trust. I won't say a leap of faith, a leap of trust. It's making the decision. What do you want the most? Confusion or clarity? Peace or chaos? What do you want the most? You get to pick one, not both. And in our greatest times of really struggling, that's when we need to make the leap, because we know we don't want this to be how it is. Requires faith. I had a religion teacher in college who used to say, having faith in God is sort of like having faith that your aunt who lives in Australia really is living there. You can't actually know. Even if you could get on a plane and fly to the address your aunt says she lives at, you know, there's a way that, like, it requires faith. You just decide, I'm going to have the faith that this is the deal, you know? So in that way, to me, faith is like a surrender. I am going to give up my insistence on all the ways it's probably not real. I'm probably not beloved. I probably can't be redeemed. I probably am bad. You know, I'm going to give up all that carp right now and trust in the vibe I feel as I'm listening to Robin talk about this stuff. You know, don't take my word for it. Trust in how you feel as you listen to me speak. That's what I always go by. How do I feel in my body as I'm receiving this information today? Surrender is a big deal. I'm going to, and sometimes I talk about it like forgiveness. I'm going to give this story, this energy, this tension, this anger, this fear, this unknowing, whatever it is, I'm going to give it up for my freedom, my peace, my joy. I'm going to give it up for. Give it up for my freedom. Forgive. Oh, did you hear that? I have the tiniest little bell chime on my, it's actually a travel singing bowl a friend gave me before I left for Bali last year. And it's sitting here on my desk. It just rang on its own. I'm looking right at it. The little wand stick thing is nowhere near. Yeah. Ding. Faith that is somehow a sign, a connection. So what does faith feel like to me? It feels like an easing. It feels like a decision it feels like a letting go. It feels like, sometimes I call it the nesty plunge. We fall back into the pool and we don't know. There are no eyes in the back of your head. We don't know. We're on the edge of the pool. We're expecting to hit the water, but we don't know. That's faith. It's showing up in the middle of all your stories of badness and choosing the higher perspective. It's choosing to break on through. So you asked, did I have to experience something to get my knowing from which faith followed, or did I just come into the world knowing? Definitely not. Definitely not. My earliest memory is of my badness. So if you can relate to that, then we're in good company, my friend. My first memory is of being in trouble, and right out of that comes this choice that I'm connected to God. I must be beloved too. It can't just be in some of us. It has to be in all of us. There have been many times in my life where something has worked out and it taught me a greater sense of faith. The one I'm thinking of now, I've told this story a few times, maybe not here, maybe in the lives, maybe in our classes, but I was living in Europe and my mom had had a stroke, came to visit me, and she had just been in my apartment for maybe a half an hour, and I was brewing tea for us. The kettle was whistling, and I came back into the room, and she was having a stroke. And it was I can't remember the medical term, but let's just say catastrophic event, brain injury that she never came back from, although she lived for almost a year afterward. Through that experience, I learned a lot about faith. I wasn't trying for faith. I was just holding my butt cheeks, trying not to lose it, holding on for dear life, trying not to lose it completely, putting one foot in front of the other every day. And then these miracles would happen. Somebody would call out of the blue and offer something that I was needing, not even knowing what was going on. And I don't mean little things. I mean like a flight back to the States, a medical evac flight back to the States from a friend who didn't even know what was going on. How does that happen? Just happened to be passing through where I was living in Europe at the time, calling to have a beer, calling to connect. Knew that was where I was staying, calling to connect, going home empty with this medical plane to the city my mom lived in, big miracles like that, but also little sweet miracles. Somebody I love was telling me the other day that she prayed for a sign, and she even said, blue butterfly. And when she rounded the corner on her walk that day, she had a sign that was so much more than that. It was butterflies, all right. Giant, sculptural, mosaic, gorgeous, complete with flowers and majesty, That teaches us faith too. And the biggest thing is just keep trusting in your goodness. Keep trusting in your light. Keep reminding yourself of how many things work out well for you and others you're connected to. Take my stories as your own, because we're really one, aren't we? And live the excitement of those stories, the wows and the ahas. Receive them into your own heart and become willing. Even though at times I know we may be so convinced that we are not worthy or deserving, set those down. And I'll leave you with this. This just kind of came off my bulletin board this hour while I've been sitting here, before I even picked your letter, and it's been sitting on my desk. Only loving thoughts are true. This is from the Course in Miracles. I accept only loving thoughts in myself and others. Everything else is an appeal for help and healing, regardless of the form it takes. All fear is a call for love. And there are so many places where this is mentioned. It's mentioned in the text. It's mentioned in the workbook lessons. And, friends listening, if that feels helpful to hear, I have a few beautiful courses on taking us through the practice of the Course in Miracles on my website that might be really helpful. Sometimes we just need to practice, because overcoming the wiring is an interesting thing. There's so much energy that can keep us believing in our badness or that we don't know, right? So I hope that helps you, my friend, and I thank you so much for your kind words, and it is such a pleasure to ride with you all of these years, near or far. We are always close in the heart, in the spark of our hearts, and that is for real. So, my friends, well, that wraps another beautiful episode. Episode 90 is in the can. Woo woo! I hope this has been a good one for you. And, take a moment now. If you heard something good today, decide on that as your nugget, as your takeaway. Sometimes at the end of a healing session, I'll say to somebody, so give me some nuggets you are going to take away from this session today. I did just rhyme that, because I think it helps to kind of recall back to ourselves what we're going to take away. And then we can remember. I know for me, a lot of times these energies we ride in can feel a bit of a trance-like nature. You're receiving, you're listening on a very deep level, and an hour later you might not be able to name really much, and that's okay, because the energy is doing its work. It's not for your mind to retain, but you can help that process. And you can help that process along by deciding, what are you going to take away? For me, it most definitely is that deciding I'm going to break on through to the other side, deciding that what I want, feel, think, need, my desire matters. It matters enough to not listen to the nay voice in my head, and it's always there. I tell you this a lot of episodes. I don't want to come and do it. I have so much resistance. I'm worried. I'm afraid, I don't know if anybody's listening. I don't know if it matters. I mean, the stories are endless, and if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. So that's going to be my nugget for today. My takeaway is to, yes, break on through to the other side. And I hope there's something powerful there for you as well. So, my friend, I am wishing you a gorgeous rest of your day, and be so kind and gentle with you. You are precious, precious cargo. And, now in these corona times, please remember that the love is viral too. The light, the healing, it's more viral than the virus itself. That's for reals. So, yeah, this has been me, Robin, sending you so much love. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Life is very short, let's make the very most of it. You are a precious gem and I love you. Do 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 do. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem and I love you. Do 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 do. Life is precious and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss. Thanks.